I'm a new player, started in Link Shabana. Should I pull for Herta or Robin if I don't have any limited characters aside from Aventurine and Kafka, which I don't use anymore? Anna, stick around. We are actually going to pretty much what we're going to be doing today is I want to go over the different types of archetypes that I think people or players should be focusing on, especially if you're a new player. And then this should help alleviate some of this whole like, oh, the 8 banners are scary for, you know, these players or whatever. This should help you understand a lot more about Zenless. This should also help explain why I say the things that I do. I said Zenless, I meant Star Rail. This should help you understand a lot more about why I say the things that I do about the game and the direction that I'm going with. What we're gonna do is we're gonna list out these archetypes. So the number 1 archetype in the game currently right now is probably gonna be follow-up attack, but I think we can break this down a little bit further, which kind of like, I don't have the tools for this per se. Maybe I need to open up like a notepad. Would that help you guys? Let me see. If I opened up a Google Doc, let's say that we have, there are a couple different types of archetypes. And then those archetypes have what I would call like subcategories. So the main stuff that we have is crit based. You have your crit archetype or your crit characters. You have follow-ups, you have super break. And even then, I don't think follow-up attack is by itself because you also have stacks. I don't really know how I'm gonna call this, but whatever. Maybe you also have follow-up attack in there too. Point being is that you have a couple of different things that fall under this category. This might be a little too small, so I got y'all. Boom, just like that. I got you, say less. So the crit characters, these are characters like Zila, okay? Characters like Zila, characters like Dill Pickle, these characters are essentially just full on crit. They only focus on crit. They don't care about anything else. They just want crit. And then of course you'll, use action advances and things like that. Stat characters are a little bit more of team players. They can be selfish, but so far we have Acheron. I'm missing one. I know what I'm missing, by the way. We have Fei Xiao. And then after the stream yesterday, we know that we have Herta, okay? To a degree, we also have things like Jade, right? But Jade is a sub DPS, so I'm not gonna include her in this example. Follow-up attacks. Follow-up attacks are gonna be things like Topaz, Dr. Ratio. Who else am I missing here? I don't fucking know. Fei Xiao, once again. You see why I say there's subcategories? You have Super Break, Firefly, you have Rappa, and then of course you have Boot Hill, who also falls under, guess what? Boot Hill to a degree falls under crit. We'll put a little asterisk there, okay? And then the last one that we have here is the counter meta, which is very strong, but there's only 2 characters in the counter meta so far, both of which can smoke everything in the game. Young Lee being of course better. Where would I put Shui Yi? Shui Yi falls under a hybrid. So we're gonna get into a little bit of this here where I actually go over like how some of these characters, again, Boot Hill, or even Himiko for that matter, fall under the hybrid category statuses, right? So a hybrid character is gonna be a character that would have multiple options throughout what's going on here. There are a few characters within the tier or within the game that fall under a hybrid category, but Lingsha would also be considered a hybrid. Lingsha is low-key. Lingsha is becoming my opinionated best sustain in the game. I think she's better than Aventurine for a number of different reasons, but that doesn't eliminate, it doesn't make Aventurine not tier 0. I just think that Lingsha has a higher priority now over Aventurine. But anyhow, we're talking about it, right? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different archetypes currently. Oh, fuck, I forgot. I can't forget this. DOT, Swan, Kafka, Sampo. Almost forgot that. There we go. Nope. See, we put it in. Chat, I caught it before y'all even said it. You're on subbing, Venom, get the fuck up out of here, bro. Wait, I'm calling Nyx. Your ass is gonna get shot. Anyway, so we have 6 different categories that we could talk about that would fall under anything going on within the archetypes of the game. These could be broken into a number of different factors, but for the most part, each of these archetypes has a top to it. You know what I mean? Like it's a clear-cut top team that happens in some of these games or some of these archetypes. So let's kind of go over this. I was gonna do like a slash thing, but I don't think Google Docs has that. Let's see if I can do a table. Yeah, there we go. So let's go ahead and start filling out some stuff, okay? Follow-up attack we know is here. And I'm gonna try and find characters that are like strictly their own thing, but that's really hard to do. It's gonna be really hard to do that where they're just their own thing. Firefly, Acheron goes under stacks, but also falls under crit. Aglaea, oh, and then summon meta, which we don't really have anything yet for, but I'll add that. Summon, boom. Aglaea, we know goes under the summon category. Where's he at? There we go, up there. Aventurine, I'm not gonna do any of this, the healers and stuff like that right now. We'll get to that in a bit. Boot Hill goes right there. Blade falls under, I want to say Blade falls under stacks. Thoughts? Stacks, but also has crit, but also has follow-up. You see what I'm saying? He's a hybrid. So Blade is crit with follow-up attacks. And he also has a stack mechanic. And he has counter. You see what I'm saying? Like Blade falls under 4 different categories, bro. 4 different categories. Clara, counter. But you know what? Maybe Blade fits a little bit better in counter, right? We don't have a lot of counter meta or counter characters, so we can put him there. Crit, follow-up attack, stacks, but also goes under follow-up attack and also goes under crit. Herta's gonna go under crit. Actually, I lie. Stacks, and she's also in the crit. Himiko's a big hybrid, goes up under follow-up attacks or super break or stacks or crit. Jade is gonna go up under, what do we want to put Jade? Stacks or crit? Both, actually, stacks and crit, but we'll put her under stacks for now. Rappa goes into the super break class. Welts, wow, I don't really know where we're gonna put Welt, to be honest, bro. We're not gonna talk about Welt. Jingyuin goes under the summon meta. Who else do we have? Should I include 4 stars in what's going on? Chat, thoughts? No 4 stars? Break well. Hey, listen, man, he could be a thing. Rip Yangqing. Oh shit, you're right, bro. Yangqing crit. No 4 stars for now. March is there though. Oh, that's true. Yeah, March is here. Jing Liu, you're right. There's baby girl. Okay, there we go. I didn't know where she was. Crit. The viable ones, the amount of 4 stars that can't fit a niche properly is crazy. That kind of points out what I was going to talk about too. But you know what? Here, I'll tell y'all what. The viable 4-star characters, DPS, we will consider. To a degree, Gallagher also goes in super break. Pela's pretty viable, but where do you put Pela? Crit? Because no one really plays a sub DPS. I'm not gonna say no one. It's very rare that we're playing a sub DPS Pela. Small Herta. You think small Herta is viable? She's only good in pure fiction until we get big Herta. We can put her there. If you guys want to put Herta there, we can. I don't care. Where are we putting her? Fei Xiao is follow-up attacks. Fei Xiao is a stack-based character with follow-up attacks who focuses on crit to get her damage out of the way. This goes into, like I said, a lot of hybrids going on right now. If we go big Herta, we got to put small Herta. Okay, so we're going to put big Herta and small Herta, follow-up attacks. Herta's using Fei Xiao comps for Apocalyptic Shadow. Okay, we can put her in there. Who are we missing then? That's it, right? I think we're good so far. I don't think I'm missing any other DPS character right now. So right now we have the top dogs within the current archetypes of the game. Top DPSs, right? All the DPS that we can think about that could be filled out for this stuff. So now we have to break this down into who dictates some of the best teams for these particular metas. If we're talking about crit base, the only ones that matter right now are these 3. There's no order. E2 Dill is fucking fantastic. E1 Jing Liu is fucking fantastic, and then you could rock out with an E0 Zila, but E4 lets you do some fucked up shit now that you have Sunday and you don't have to worry about Sparkle. Point being is that we're just gonna say this, not ordered, all right? Dill, Pickle, Jing Liu, Zila. These are your top 3 crits. You go into your follow-up attacks, Topaz, Dr. Ratio, and then Himiko. To a degree, you could argue March 8th could also be there, but for right now, we have 1, 2, 3. Stack-based characters, there's only 3 in that order. Jade is here because obviously for the stacks and a bunch of other stuff. Super break, we have Firefly, we have Rappa, and we have Boot Hill. I think it goes in this order. Those are your top 3. Boom, boom, boom. These are your top 3. DOT, of course, boom, boom, and then Summon. So we're pretty much good to go, and we're good, right? You have the ideal, all of these and your 3s are good to go. Now I'm gonna move these out of the way just so that we have a very static what we can look at for now. And I'll put them back once I'm done writing out what we need to write out. So let's start off with crit, okay? And then I'll do you guys we'll do you one better. We can actually double down. So now you guys can see everything that you need to see. So crit based, Zila, Dill Pickle. And then now that we know that, I'm just gonna take away Boot Hill. We're gonna put Jing Liu, all right? No asterisks. Lynx is a break DPS. You guys are smoking crack. You're not wrong, but you're smoking crack right now. And I don't know if I wanna smoke that with y'all today. Maybe tomorrow, maybe yesterday, but not today. You have AV Harmony, and this works for all of them, but in particular, Sparkle. And then down here, again, AV Harmony. Now we're filling out the rest of the board here. Could get away with Ting Yun, but now you kind of don't need it. Sunday or Ting Yun, depending on your AV Harmony, right? Because you want that energy if you're playing E0. Sparkle with Dill Pickle. Once again, you probably rocking Ting Yun, but you got, or Hanya, right? Y'all correct me if I'm wrong on these teams. Let me know the optimal team. This is a team effort today. Y'all tell me what the optimal team is. Please don't type it one at a time. Give me the whole team in one message. Jing Liu, is it still Pela or is it another advanced forwarding character? What is it? Lingsha is the strongest crit Erudition in the game. Makes Argenti look like a chump. The strongest crit Erudition in the game. Lingsha? Crit? Like just crit? Herta and Himiko are right there. Jing Liu's, or not Jing Liu, Jing Yuan's right there too. Is she stronger than Jing Yuan? Dill uses Sunday over Sparkle. Is that what it is now? Okay, well then there we go. You guys are doing exactly what I asked you not to do, which is typing it one at a time. Tell me the whole team, all 4 characters What is the best team? Please. Hua Hua as a sustain for all three. You want Hua Hua Ho-Oh as everyone's sustain? That's what you're telling me? Jingliu is also worse than Argenti, but it is what it is. Is she? Jingliu's team is kind of weird because I tried her with March 8th and it was really good. I think Jingliu works best with a sub DPS over whatchamacallit, over Pela, personally. Like if this right here, if this was Robin or Mei, and then you either made a sub DPS Pela or another sub DPS, you're chilling and she's good. Almost every team is DPS, Sunday, Robin, Hua Hua, unless they don't need energy. We could be better than that, boys. I'm not even gonna lie to you, Chief. We could absolutely do better than that. We could absolutely do better than that, boys. Acheron, E0 in mine, right? Bei Xiao, E0 in mine, yeah? Big Herta. We're gonna call her Mama Herta. Mama Herta. Who we going for? I know for Acheron, we're rocking out with Robin. We're rocking out with Jiao Shou. And we're rocking out with Aventurine / Gallagher. Bei Xiao, we have Bei Xiao. Again, we have Robin. We have Topaz, and then we have Aventurine, right? That's going to be the premier team. For Mama Herta, we got Mama Herta. This is up in the air as of right now, but I'm going to put RMC just for now until we figure something else out. This could also be, instead of RMC, it's probably going to be Robin. We have Jade or Serval. I like that. And then, of course, we're going to have Ho-Oh. Yeah, I think Ho-Oh is pretty cool. Or Ling Sha. This is going to be your stack meta. Follow-up attack. Now, you notice that follow-up attack is sharing something. Boom, it's Bei Xiao. Dr. Ratio is going to share the same shit. Topaz is going to be on the same thing. So now, because follow-up attack traditionally only has 2 of these that we really want to care about, right? Pela over Robin for Acheron. No, why would we do that? The E0 Robin plus Jiao Shou is so strong. The Robin plus Jiao Shou core is so strong. You can actually subjugate. I don't think I'm using that word right. This combo is so strong that you just ignore the Nihility requirement. You can sub in Robin, but it's worse on average. I have not had worse performance with this particular team. But for the sake of, we can put in Pela. All right, Robin / Pela, no biggie. Now you guys were just saying something about Dr. Ratio. Y'all said Dr. Ratio's new best team was what? Sunday and Jiao Shou? Confirm? I know I'm spelling Jiao Shou's name wrong. How the fuck do you spell Jiao Shou? There we go. All right, Dr. Ratio, Sunday, Jiao Shou, who? Aventurine? Gallagher over Aventurine? All right, Galley / Ho-Oh. Boom. Follow-up attack. Let's go with Topaz. Dr. Ratio, actually, honestly, any fucking main DPS, right? Any main follow-up attack DPS. Doesn't matter. Topaz will excel. Does not matter. Robin, and then Ho-Oh / Aventurine. Okay, there we go for that. Boom, we're done. Next, we go into Super Break. Super Break has 3 optimals that we could be using for Super Break right here. Okay, Super Break, we've got our boy, or my bad, our girl, Firefly. We have HMC. We have Mei, and we have Galley / Ling Sha. All right, boom, you're done. Rappa has almost an infinite amount to do whatever the fuck you want. I'm not even playing. Like, Rappa's best teams is a lot. HMC, Mei, and then you could rock Ho-Oh if you wanted to, or fan favorite Ling Sha. But you could do whatever the hell you want, bro. HMC, Mei could turn into, you could rock Mei and Himiko, you could rock fucking Boot Hill, you could rock this with Firefly, and you'll still get the job done. Rappa's fucking phenomenal. You can rock it with Fugue. We done forgot about Fugue, chat. Fugue. All of HMC's or Firefly's best team is HMC and Fugue. Is it? Has Mei been replaced on the Firefly team with Fugue? Fuck it, let's do it then. Fugue, there you go. And then last but not least, we have Maximum Bootiest. Mei / Sunday, or is it? It's Fugue actually now, right? Is it Mei and Fugue, or is it Sunday and Fugue for Boot Hill with Ling Sha? Actually, I lied. Boot Hill doesn't need sustain. I know what I'm talking about. It's this. You don't. If you rock this team, you don't need sustain. You just don't need sustain. Boot Hill, Mei, Sunday, Fugue. You're done. That's it. You don't need sustain. Boot Hill has delay. Mei has delay. Sunday has action advance forward. Fugue has delay. You just straight up don't need sustain. So we're chilling. Counter meta. Counter meta, we have 3 because we did go over the blade, right? We have Yun Li. We have, you could get away with Mei, but you want them to hit you a little bit. Now, Yun Li's a little different because I don't like using advance forward. Although you could get away with Robin, right? Robin's pretty good. Then you also have, you also have Mei. We could do Sunday or Ting Yun for the energy. And then Ho-Oh. Clara is pretty much a mock-up of this exact same team. And then lastly, we have Blade. What's the Blade team, chat? Y'all know I don't play Blade anymore. What we got? Yun Li is Sunday plus Jiao Shou. Oh, okay. I fuck with that. So then is Clara rocking the same exact team? Clara, Sunday, Robin / May, and Aventurine. You don't want Aventurine, right? Because Aventurine takes away from Claire getting hit. Claire's follow-up attack damage. Got you. So yeah, Claire, Robin / May, Tingy / Pela, and then Ho-Oh. Who plays Blade in this meta anymore? Listen, we're just calling out what's in the meta so far. So honestly, I have no idea. Blade's best team is the bench. The bench. And then we have DOT, which funnily enough, DOT really only needs one line. That one line is quite literally going to be Kafka, May / Robin, Swan, and then Hua Hua or Ling Sha, because Ling Sha is just that fucking crack. All right, chat. So we finished out what we have going on with a lot of this stuff regarding these teams. Okay, we know all the different types that we could have over here that could turn into the different teams. So how would we break this down? If we were looking at this from a player perspective and a new player wanted to start building out teams, number one, the first thing that you have to do as a new player, you need to pick 2 archetypes and stick to your guns. Stick to it. No, nothing else. The number one thing new players need to do before you even start Star Rail, learn what you have going on, learn what's going on in the game, learn what the meta is. That way you can decide, do I want to play meta or do I want to play off meta? If you decide to play off meta, so we'll go with A, on meta option, or B, off meta option. What does off meta mean? Off meta basically means if you decide to play off meta, something that is not currently as strong or not as popular, you need to go in depth and understand how do you break the game so that this is in your favor. So if you decide to invest into off meta, that you will be beneficial going into whatever it is that you're doing for the future. Off meta options, what are we looking at so far here? Off meta options is literally DOT. It's just straight up DOT to a degree. And I'm not saying this is off meta actually, but I'm saying if we needed to give somebody an option, like besides DOT, we could say the counterplay style, because the counterplay style right now is still slept on in my opinion. People understand that it's strong. Not enough people are talking about it. Mono quantum is another good thing, right? Mono quantum, AKA crit based. Boom. So these are some of the more off meta picks that you could get away with. Okay. On meta. What is on meta? Obviously, we're going to talk about super break. All right. Follow-up attack. That's number 2. And then we have stacks. Stacks is number 3. Now, these two things go hand in hand. Follow-up attack and stacks go hand in hand. Why? Because of Fei Shao. However, all follow-up attacking units don't have stacks. You see what I'm saying here? You guys see what I'm saying? So now you get into, what does this look like? We talk about stacks for a little bit. What's a stack type look like? Stacks are going to look like Acheron. They're going to look like Herta, big Herta, Mama Herta, and they're going to look like Fei Shao. But at the same time, you're going to ask yourself, follow-up attacks, what does this look like? The little answer is Fei Shao. If you play follow-up attacks, you're investing into Fei Shao. Theoretically, let's say that you started way back when you have Dr. Ratio for free only if you got this character for free, then you could go with Dr. Ratio, and then this would turn into Sunday, Jiao Show, Topaz, whatever the case may be, right? Boom, you're golden, you're good to go. You said newer archetypes should be number 1. Incorrect. The reason why this is incorrect is because you cannot guarantee that you're going to be able to invest into the new archetype for the future, because by the time you build into the new archetype, you have no idea what happened. As a newer player, this is just your decision. You need to make that decision and then just full send it, because you can't build 2 at once. We just talked about this earlier. One of the key things that new players have to deal with is the fact that you get anywhere between 6 to 10 pity. Oh, what'd you guys say earlier? Like 13? We're gonna say 6 to 12. You get 6 to 12 pities a year, which means if you miss a 50-50 and you didn't prepare to miss that 50-50, which means you would have had to have 2 whole patches saved up just for you to know or feel that you were gonna miss it, that's gonna be a problem, right? Now with this new banner system, it's a little easier because now you have an opportunity. If the new banner system is permanent, by the way, you have the opportunity to collect whatever it is that you might be missing. I can pick up Fei Shao here. Okay, I can maybe grab Robin. I can try and snipe Ripen. Oh, damn, we lost a 50-50 on Robin. Okay, well, now I can just save up. We can go for Robin on the next run. I got a couple copies of Moza, so I don't really need Topaz right now. I can do without Jade. We can rock out with my Moza, or March 8th is free. I can just invest into my March 8th with my Fei Shao, and then you'll get a team that looks something like this, right? Oh, hold on, I'm pressing too many buttons at one time. Example team, right? You get something like Fei Shao. You'll have Moza or March. You would have Ling Sha or Aventurine, depending on who you're going for, right? Whichever one comes first that you can grab it. And Robin, then you're done. And this would be the example of a free-to-play player trying to go ahead and grab a Fei Shao team during 3.0. Because that's where we are right now. During 3.0, this is where you're trying to get to, okay? So now let's say that I really don't want to play Fei Xiao. I want to invest into stacks. So now we look at Mama Herta, which I mean, Fei Xiao is still a part of the stack meta, but you have the other follow-up attack options that you do it. Or if you don't want to go into Herta, but let's go with Super Break. Actually, Super Break is supposed to be a little bit more free. Number one, what happens when you go into Super Break? You have an option between Firefly or Rappa. I'm gonna leave Boot Hill out for just a second, chat, okay? Now Firefly, what does Firefly have that we like about Firefly? We can rock out with Firefly, HMC, Fugue, May, that's it. Oh, and then Galley. Any of these options, which 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different options that we can rock out with when it comes to Firefly that you can use. Now, if you use Super Break, this Super Break does something for free to plays that is very important to pay attention to. Locks you out of summon meta / RMC until there is another RMC, which by the way, RMC, let me make that a little asterisk there. We'll put an asterisk here, okay? RMC also opens the floor. RMC equals new true damage meta. This is important. Why is this important? Because I talk about finality damage. Finality damage is something in the game that is essentially a multiplier on top of all of your damage that you would have done. So whatever the normal damage multiplier is, finality damage is multiplied by that final number. True damage is you doing the absolute, no other factor gets brought into play here. This is the absolute number that you're gonna do. It ignores whatever the enemy's resistances are. It ignores their defense. It doesn't take into account any of your buffs that don't directly affect true damage. It is purely raw damage. True damage is the rawest form of damage possible in any game, especially in an RPG. RMC at this moment in time is the only character in the game that is going to have true damage. So if you choose to invest into Super Break, you are automatically not locking yourself out of one meta, but two. Very important. This is why I say 8 banners is a problem, or it could be a problem. It's a little ridiculous. There's a lot to take into account that is not being brought up for the average player, the new player, or even the more seasoned player who just happens to not spend a lot of money in the game. So we go from there, okay? That's the number one rule that we have right there. If we go beyond that point and we look at number 2 here, number 2, the new rule set, or the rule set for newer players is now you have to play the slow investment game. What does this mean? This means you need to build your team, and only this team, for the future. You don't get to pick and choose everything else. Oh man, I love Acheron. I love Robin. She's my favorite character. I love her so much. I love Black Swan. Black Swan's so hot. I wish I could just, have Black Swan. I'm not playing DOT though. Guess what? You don't get to pull Black Swan, because if you do, that's one of your 6 to 12 pities gone. Y'all don't have the luxury to make these decisions freely without spending money. I understand free to play is coming from the Genshin Impact community, for instance. Y'all love pulling waifu over meta. If you're pulling waifu over meta, everything that I'm talking about does not matter right now, because you're gonna pull what you want anyway. No shade, no harm, no foul. But if you care about what's going on, which it's important, let me take a small pause here. Why should any one player care about the meta? This part could probably get clipped and turned into a clip, right? Why should any one player care about the meta in Honkai Star Rail? No matter what the public tries to convince you, or no matter what Twitter tries to convince you, Star Rail is a meta-driven game. If you do not play Star Rail for the meta, by the meta, or at least a little bit of the meta, with the meta in mind, you will fail at what it is you're trying to accomplish. All of the, Star Rail is one of the games where you can still clear everything with only 4-star characters. There are still people on YouTube clearing everything with 4-star characters only to this day. What 4 stars are they using? Let's talk about it. They are using meta-derived 4-star characters. No one is pulling up a team with Arland. I don't know why I added a D at the end of his name. No one's pulling up a team with Arland, Asta, Luca, and Lynx and saying they cleared all forms of content in the game. That is not how that works at all. So if you care about getting your 720 Jades from all the in-game forms of the content, you don't need every golden character in the game to do it. You need to understand how to build a team, how to play that team, how to pilot the team, how to beat whatever boss it is currently in the in-game forms of content, and what you're doing in the game. how to abuse action value, speed tuning, what different sets exist. A really key thing about a lot of these builds, we'll probably open up the game here in a little bit to show you guys this, but specifically something that's not being taken into consideration, which I think this also happens in Genshin, but I don't want to speak on that. Maybe, I know Vantage is probably in here, maybe he could speak on that. But one of the key things that I rarely see this happen in Genshin, but I don't see it happen enough in Star Rail, even though Star Rail is supposed to happen. Light cones in Star Rail completely change runs in the game. If there's a particular run that, like, let's say you're trying to clear it with a 0 cycle or 1 cycle, 2 cycle, 3 cycle, whatever, you're just trying to get an extra cycle to clear it, and you're running what everyone else is saying with, you know, like, oh, this is the best relic set, this is the best light cone set, only run this. You could change certain things about your run, your character, whatever, and that can make or break giving you extra cycles. I know I'm the whole, like, I'm always pushing light cones. People, you know, you're always trying to sell somebody on buying the light cone, da 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 da. Light cones change a lot about what your character or team can do that significantly helps you try to do whatever it is that you're trying to do. Now, I'm not saying go out there and pull every light cone, because again, you get 6 to 12 of these options a year. Now that I have that in perspective, I'm not telling y'all to go grab every light cone, but what I am saying, playing the slow investment game. What else does this mean? Now we can go back to this real quick. Building for your team and only this team. Vertical investment, importante. You have to do this. So now we talk about this, and we talk about the best ways to vertically invest on top of the best ways to build your team and only your team. What is this going to look like? This is going to look like something like, let's say that I was going for, again, we can actually use Mama Herta here. Let's say I'm going for Mama Herta, okay? Mama Herta is amazing. I want to play Mama Herta, and I want a team focused around her. But no Jade. I don't have Jade. Who am I going to use? Who am I going to, if I have her proclaimed best limited character partner and I don't have Jade, what are my options here? Little Herta or Serval, both of which are free. So if I'm playing this game and I'm free to play, I need to make some sacrifices. Unfortunately, it is what it is. So I'm going to have to play Mama Herta with either Little Herta or Serval, whichever one I feel like playing with the most, and then invest into these characters as much as possible. How do I make these characters stronger than what they are? Vertical investment. What does that mean? It means, so now that I have Mama Herta, this means because I know I'm filling out 2 of the 4 or 2 of the last 3 slots, or 1 of the last 3 slots with a 4-star character minimum, it means that I can invest into Herta as much as possible. This means that now I could shoot for an E1S1 or E0S1 because I'm trying to make the longevity of this one DPS character with whatever archetype I chose to be as strong as possible. And this archetype would fall under stacks plus crit hybrid archetype. It's really just a stack archetype, but I want you guys to understand this is still crit focused. It's stacks, but it's crit focused, okay? Archetype, that's a better way to say that, which means I need to make my Herta as strong as possible, E1S1 or E0S1. This would take away from my 6 to 12. Maybe you get this early. If you get it early, that means you get more pities that you can hit because you get to save currency and whatnot. But if you don't, it is what it is, right? You've prepared for that. So now that I have this, what's the next part of the team that I'm gonna need? Actually, RMC is free. Hold on, wait a minute. Yup, RMC is free. So you're done. You need a sustain, which means now you use your other limited banner character, your limited option for a sustain. Lingsha. That is the best sustain that you could pick up right now for this particular team. Why? Because Lingsha has AoE attacks. She's going to be able to help her to get the job done. Lingsha is going to heal. She's the best healer in the game right now. So no one's going to be able to die, right? If you build your Lingsha correctly. Lingsha also helps you low-key, high-key investment for other archetypes. And getting Lingsha would save you so that you could use any other archetype in the future and not need to stress about a sustain in the event you didn't want to play stacks and crit focus stuff anymore. Can Aventurine work as well with the team? Probably, but Aventurine's AoEs are a little slower because he has to get hit. So with a Herta team, what you really want is you want more front-loaded attacks or front-loaded aggression. You don't want to depend on Aventurine's like stacks to be able to do it when you can just force it with Lingsha. But this of course depends on the rest of the team. If you're playing this team with Serval, Serval gets her ult almost immediately depending on how you play it. So you have it like that. If you're playing this team with Himiko, well now it's based off breaks, right? Because Himiko's whole thing is whenever you break an enemy, she's going to get Robot Jones. So now you need to make sure that they're all weak to fire and ice. In pure fiction, this will be amazing, right? And this goes into different options. Now we get into horizontal investment is what we start talking about after this. So now that we're done with the vertical investment behind this team, this is the part where now you can go into horizontal investment, because now what ends up happening is you can start getting flexibility. Horizontal investment brings flexibility. That's what I want to say. What the fuck? So now that you have flexibility coming through, horizontal investment is okay. This is where you can start picking up characters that would help you in other game modes, but also benefit to not only just the main team that you're playing, but it could lead into a secondary team. So you want to make decisions that can help you with that. Now, the cool thing about Himiko is she is a standard banner character, so that is basically free. You can lose a 50-50, get a Himiko, and it's awesome. You can pick up a Robin, and she could replace RMC if you wanted her to, which opens up your true damage meta slot for a whole different team, right? Or Robin can go towards another team archetype that you can use. But you see how both of these characters not only help your main team that you've already decided to invest into, but it also helps a secondary team if you decide to invest into that as well. Link says to glue the team. Exact. So there's a couple different things that you can do here. Aventurine, y'all mentioned that earlier. You could pick up Aventurine. What does Aventurine unlock for you? Follow-up attack meta, right? The archetype, he unlocks that for you. Stacks for Acheron, if you wanted to do that. He works for the Acheron comp. There's a couple different things that you can do. See, the game itself and learning the game or understanding the game, team building, structures, things like that, it's not as complicated as it sounds, or even that I might make it out to be, because I promise you I don't mean to make it sound complicated if it is. That's why I'm typing everything out so that you guys can see that, right? A lot of what's happening when you come out to it is literally just planning and understanding why something is happening the way that it is. If you understand things and you're not just pulling shit for random, the 8 banners is not as scary as it is. And then you have better team options. Now, the smart choice here, which goes into number 3, right? This is a very smart, important choice. Pick a team, as we say in the fighting game community, hold on, pick a top tier. I'm elaborate on that. Number 3, pick a top tier, okay? What does this mean? In the FGC, shout out to my man Sanford Kelly, whole rant on it. Great rant. They were walking through the fucking, were they in fucking New York? I don't remember where they were, but they were walking through somewhere. And my boy says, if you want to win, pick a top tier. If you're tired of losing, pick a top tier. If you want to have fun, pick a top tier. Everything that you do in the game, decision-wise, should revolve around picking a top tier first. And then you can go play whatever the fuck you want. What does pick a top tier mean? It means go into, and as much as I don't agree with all of the placements all of the time, what it means is you find a tier list, you find some opinions, you come in here, hey, who is the top DPS? Who's the top specialist is still a DPS? Who's the top amplifier? Whatever. You come in here and you figure out anything above meta characters, even meta characters, anything tier 1 or above, it's safe for you to pick and invest into. Now, if you want the most future-proof pick, then you pick tier 0.5 or higher, and then you base things around that. Now, again, I don't agree with everything on Pridewin, so don't come over here on Pridewin and say, well, EO said Pridewin's accurate, so I should pick something from Pridewin. No, my decisions and opinions are drastically different than what a lot of Pridewin has on the stuff right now. So pick a top tier. Let's go over this from EO's perspective, okay? EO's opinion on this. Turn the light on real quick. It's getting a little dark outside, all right? Who are the top tiers worth picking in version 3.0 of HSR? Very important. I'm gonna bold that so y'all know it's important, okay? Excuse me. Number 1, Fei Xiao. This is not ordered, by the way. I'm literally just gonna list off characters. Mama Herta, which is Big Herta, okay? Aglaea, 100%. Acheron, asterisk, question marks. And then we have Yun Li, definitely. Rappa, absolutely the fuck yes. Boot Hill, yes, because he's a hybrid character and he can work phenomenally. These would probably be, I'm just gonna make sure I don't have anything else. Why don't you have Firefly in there? Firefly locks you out of some shit that you don't really need to be locked out of, but let's go, and to a degree, right? I'll do you even one better. Firefly or Rappa. I'm gonna do it that way. You could pick whatever the hell you want between these two characters because they're gonna perform the same way, but they're not on the same caliber that Boot Hill is gonna perform. Now I can explain 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 top tier characters that any new player should pick from and invest into with rule number 1, rule number 2 in mind. No Lingsha. Bro, Lingsha is not a DPS. Why are y'all doing that? Yo, keep, why are we doing this? Lingsha's not a DPS character, bro. She can be, but y'all, all right, Zaki, you're really gonna tell me to tell someone else, yo, pick up Lingsha, invest into her as a main DPS, and that's your top tier pick? No! I would not, don't get me wrong. I think Lingsha is the best sustain in the game right now. I'm gonna tell you to get her because she's the best sustain in the game. But I'm not gonna tell you pick her as a top tier DPS. She is her. Oh my God. Y'all are serious. Okay. You know what it is? All right, fine. We'll talk about Lingsha. Lingsha Sunday Fugue HMC is low-key gas. Oh my gosh. The everything character. And now y'all want to say, when I said it earlier, y'all like, oh man, that's a hot take. Are you sure? Y'all are naming reasons why I said Lingsha is the best sustain right now. She is the better one. Keeps your team alive. Cleanses you, fulfills, how many archetypes did we talk about earlier? Crit Lingsha, she does that. Follow-up attacks, she does that. Helps with stacks, she does that. Super break, she does that. DOT, she can help with that. Summon based, she is that. The only thing Lingsha doesn't have is counter. Out of all 7 different archetypes currently in the game, the only one Lingsha doesn't have is counter. Lingsha is quite literally the best one there is. She counters CC. All right, bro. So now we can talk about like the last little bit here, okay? Who are the top tiers worth picking in version 3.0 of HSR? You have Fei Xiao. Now we talked about Fei Xiao earlier when it comes to like building out her team. Fei Xiao has some of the best free-to-play options right now, depending on obviously if you were to grab Moza, but if you don't, March 8th is free. March 8th is one of those characters that surprisingly, and let me just double check real quick. I'm pretty positive in my opinion, March 8th might actually be, yeah, I think March 8th is one of like definitely top 3 4-star characters in the game for sure. Moza, Gallagher, yeah, March 8th and Gallagher, top 3 4-star characters in the game. I think that's it, yeah, and then Moza. So that's probably maybe Ting Yun, right? You could argue Ting Yun, Moza, whatever, but you know, with Sunday here, it gets a little iffy. But yeah, March 8th is the best 4-star. So then there we go too, right? March 8th is the best 4-star in the game. And you get it for free. All right. Once you get March 8th, you're locked in. Fei Xiao, March 8th. You can rock Gallagher if you still need to, but if not, then, you know, you obviously want to pick up something like a Venturine or Lingsha. And then you have Robin. If you don't have Robin, you could definitely get away with Bronya. Bronya's free. She's on the standard banner. So if you pick Fei Xiao, if you invest into Fei Xiao, not only is Fei Xiao currently the strongest DPS in the game, but you also have a team that works and operates. Now, what is this going to help you with? Having Fei Xiao easily free to play accessible. That's very important. Number 2, ridiculous damage no matter what. And then number 3, teaches you how to pilot. This is important. Pilot a team efficiently. There we go. That's very important. All of these characters are pretty much going to teach you how to pilot teams efficiently. Why is that important? Because it's going to teach you how to play the game beyond the basic means. Now, of course, everyone doesn't have to do this. Everyone does not have to do, you know, playing the game beyond average means, but the game is getting to a point where, and I am going to make this his own video eventually, but I'll drop a tidbit of it here. The reason that Star has been pissing me off lately is because it won't choose a direction. It's either going in the direction of a more casual average player, and they're trying to cater towards that, which means they're trying to counter the more seasoned players who are able to zero cycle, or the whales, or they're going towards a more challenging route, which would favor the seasoned players, the more whale oriented players. I don't even want to say whale, just seasoned players, right? Players that understand more about the game. They're a lot more invested in the game versus the casual player. Now, here's where the problem is. Because they're trying to counter the seasoned player, this is where stuff like HP inflation comes into the game. This directly hurts and affects the casual / average player. Now, how does the casual / average player beat what's currently going on, right? How do you get around the whole HP inflation thing? You have to understand how to break the game. If you don't understand how to play the game beyond your casual or average means, you're not gonna get past HP inflation. HP inflation is a problem. I have a whole ass video on it, doing very good, but you can get around it by learning how to play the game better, not by pulling shit, by learning how to play the game better and using what you have in your account, unless you brick your account. If you brick your account, that's totally different. That's a whole different conversation that we got to talk about, which that's not in today's video. But outside of that, we can get back to this, right? Mama Herta, what does Mama Herta teach you? Once again, easily free to play, accessible with what she has available to her. Ridiculous damage, period. She's fucking cracked. Number 3, teaches you how to, here we go. Pilot a team efficiently. There we go, bro. There we go. You know what? I'm gonna do you even one better. I'm gonna do you even one better, right? Stacks, follow-up attack archetype. Why am I typing this out for those that may be listening or watching? The reason I'm typing this out so that you guys understand which archetype these teams fall under, so that you know what you're looking for to invest into. Aglaea, honestly, I don't think she's easily free to play accessible. I really don't. But what I will say about her, the current teams that we're aware of, which is basically replacing Jing Yuan's like best team right now, which is Sunday and Robin. So Aglaea, Sunday, Robin, and then Ho-Oh or some shit. Her best team equals the best supports in the game. Like you can't go wrong with that. If you invest into this character and you have the means to acquire what she wants, or like you pull Sunday specifically for Aglaea, and now Robin is coming up on the rerun, you have the opportunity to have the best teams. Can I share this document after the video? Absolutely. For those of you guys that are in here, but if you are, I can post it in my Discord for sure. I'll have a whole like doc link in there for the Discord for those of you guys watching the stream, or my bad, the video that this gets uploaded to. If you want this document, it's in the Discord. I'll have it pinned somewhere in the Star Rail place in Discord. You guys can easily access it, so that if you guys want to see like a layout of what I'm talking about, you have that. So Aglaea, her best teams, or her best team equals the best supports in the game, which then turns into stupid damage, stupid dumb big PP damage. She is also the pilot of the new summon based meta that we're going to be having. And then lastly, I don't think she teaches you how to pilot summon based characters, but she helps you understand, I knew I spelled that wrong. She helps you understand how to maneuver speed tuning. This is very similar, and Firefly will have something similar to this as well. But I think this is important. This is another important lesson that you want to learn within Star Rail if you want to like get better at the game, right? I think Aglaea is going to be one of the characters, one of the main DPS characters, that if you want to excel at her team, you have to learn speed control. Speed control is something that we talk about in like Pokemon, right? Speed control is in short, speed control is basically controlling who goes first or who goes second versus you and the player. You have moves like Tailwind. Tailwind doubles everyone's speed on your side of the field, which is like the best move in the game, right? Or one of the best moves in the game for speed control. You have Trick Room. Trick Room makes it so that the slowest mons on the field go first. It's the opposite of Tailwind, right? But it has negative priority, so it takes the longest time to set up compared to Tailwind, which has frame 1 priority. Rain Dance and Swift Swim, right? Every Pokemon that has the ability Swift Swim, when it's raining, their speed gets doubled. There's a lot of different factors that go into speed control when it comes to Pokemon and understanding VGC or competitive Pokemon. Speed control in Honkai Star Rail is a little different, where it's not really controlling whether or not your entire team goes first or second, but speed control falls under the factors of AV manipulation. So this is going to be things like your Robin advancing everyone forward. But here, I'll even go a step further. Let's elaborate on this, right? What is AV manipulation? What does this mean? AV manipulation is things like learning when to use Robin ults versus just spamming it frame 1. There's a difference. How to speed tune your DPS behind or in front of your Harmony unit. Sunday, Robin, Bronya, Sparkle. Number 3, speed tuning beyond this point, and this goes into little things. Zila is a good example of this. Understanding your character's kit, how I'll say it this way, understanding how your character manipulates their own AV or speed. A few characters in the game have different forms of being able to do this. Herta has a form of doing this. Zila, Bronya have forms of doing this. Am I missing anybody? Who else has this? March 8th has different ways, or rather one way of doing this. Yeah, Yun Li has a way of doing this to a degree. It's not that she advances herself forward, but understanding the counter meta and why she does what she does, and when she does it, gives you a turn that you otherwise would not have. Sushong is a great example of that as well. Yes, Sushong is a great example. So when it comes to speed control, these are the type of things that you want to learn regarding that. And actually, yeah, no, I guess I'll just leave this under AV manipulation, right? This is what Aglaea helps you do. Now, Acheron, the reason I have Acheron as like asterisks and question marks is because I feel like Acheron is phasing out. I think this character is still strong right now. She's reaching her peak. Jiao Shou is a great example of like what this character has the potential to do. But I think if you want to continue to play Acheron, you've already missed the entire 2.0 wave. Acheron was like the queen for 2.0. And now it's time for some other characters to start taking the spotlight. Once we get into the summon meta, it's going to be pretty big. I think certain characters, maybe like Tribi, are going to be a big factor to that. And I think with what's happening right now, if you were free to play, looking at Acheron, Aglaea, Fei Xiao or the Herta. I think Acheron is like the lowest of the damage pool right now out of these characters. Again, could be wrong. I'll get back to you guys when I finish my Aglaea and Herta testing. But as of right now, this is just some thoughts and opinions that I have based on what I know about the characters and the numbers that I do know. You have to vertical invest into Acheron. Acheron is only not phasing out if you've already vertically invested into the character. What does that mean? It means E2, it means S1, it means Jiao Shou, it means Jiao Shou's light cone, it means Robin with Robin's light cone, or Mei with Mei's light cone. You have to vertically invest into your Acheron team to keep her up to snuff. So if you were going to do any of this stuff, what does Acheron teach you, right? Once again, we go back up here. Number one, stupid damage. Stupid, kinda easy damage. I say kinda easy because you really do need to learn how to manipulate stacks. This also teaches you, actually that's gonna be number 3. So I'm gonna put some stuff here, and then 3, teaches you how to play stack-based comps. Because if you suck at building Acheron stacks, your Acheron's trash, your team is trash, get better. But if you understand how to build those stacks, you are gonna get 2 to 3 ultimates per cycle, and it's a wonderful feeling. I don't think I have a 2, to be honest. So that's the problem with Acheron there. And then you're also, that's what it is, working backwards. You're investing backwards, which is a problem. Shouldn't DPS be considered E0 S1 though? I would love for that to be the case, and I also normally consider that to be the case. But if we scroll up, remember what this is about, right? Helping out new players. Or players that just don't spend money. You only get 6 to 12 pities a year. So if we look at Acheron, right? And I think I wrote it out earlier somewhere. I didn't actually, so we can write it out here. Acheron, you mentioned Jiao Shou. So Acheron's team would essentially be Acheron, Jiao Shou, you said Pela, and then Galley or Aventuring. But for the sake of keeping this in a 4-star metric, we'll say Gallagher. Vertically invest. Acheron, you said S1, E0 S1, right? Jiao Shou S1. Now let's say that you lose 50-50s, right? Because we have to average this out. And you went for Acheron, that's a pity. Maybe you get Acheron, boom, you got her on the first 50-50, but you went to max pity. Out of your 12, you're now down to 11. You go for S1, you lose the 75-25. Now you got to roll again. You're down to, what is that? 11, 10, 9. You're down to 9 on your pity, right? You go for Jiao Shou, you lose the 50-50. Now you're down to 7 because you have to burn 2 pities, right? So 9 minus 2, that's 7. But you win the 75-25 on the S1. So now you're down to 6. For 2 characters, you just burned half your year's worth of pity. How you got that in the span of whatever time period we're doing, like immediately to use, it is what it is. But this is what we're taking into consideration when I talk about these things and give this advice. Looking at which teams are going to provide you the best future value with the least amount of large investment as possible to get the damage that you need to clear shit and progressively improve your account. That's what's important. So yeah, Acheron has things that she can use, but then what? We've already discussed that people aren't pulling silver, and silver's she's coming up on the rerun now. Players don't want to pull silver despite the value that silver could bring to the table. And now that we also have tutorial, right? They brought back all the event light cones. You're doing more work to invest into Acheron backwards than you would be as a new player investing into some of these other characters that are for the future currently as strong or stronger than Acheron premium options, but these other teams don't have their full gear yet. They don't have their full team setups. Herta does not have her premium team options yet. Aglaea has current day premium team options, but she does not have her premium team options right now because everybody loves Sunday and Jiao Shou, or Sunday and Robin. It's very hard to invest in a DPS rerun without already having everything else locked and loaded, ready to go. Yun Li is the counter meta, okay? We talk about the counter meta, easy as fuck to play. I mean that, bro. It's not easily accessible as a free to play a lot, right? But like Yun Li, the counterplay is just too fucking easy. If you learn counter, you do have to play it manually though. I will say that. Hold on, let me write that down. Yun Li gets an asterisk next to her name too. Literally play on auto. Don't play on auto. Yo, the duality of man is crazy right there. The duality of man is absolutely crazy right there, bro. I hate it because like YouTube isn't, first of all, I don't even know why my chat down here, we had this whole time no chat. I apologize for that, but my YouTube chat is coming in hot, bro. They're killing the game. Yo, I'm gonna have like wars. YouTube chat has been killing the chat today. My Twitch chat, y'all lacking today, bro. YouTube is popping. They coming in with questions. They're conversating. They're keeping up with the conversation and like adding into it. Yo, Twitch chat, man. Hey, you know. But Yun Li, easy as fuck to play. That's number one. I didn't mean to do that. Hold on, wait, go back. 2, there we go. Number 2, insane damage. And number 3, teaches you how to play patiently and counter meta, which we've already established is very important. You don't need to learn a lot with Yun Li or Clara, right? Let me actually establish that. Yun Li, I'm just gonna leave it as Yun Li. I'm not gonna hold you because Clara, you can just play on auto. I'm gonna leave it there. Asterisk, why does Yun Li have an asterisk? Do not play on auto. You need to manually play this team. Otherwise, your Yun Li is borderline mental. Chillo brain dead. Super Breakcool! Okay, easiest comp in the game to play. Nothing else in the game is easier than Super Break. Super Break, you press one button, you turn it on, you're done. That's it. That is quite literally it. You press the button and you go make a sandwich, you go cut the grass, you go mow the lawn, you go take a swimming, whatever, fuck, you do a line of Coke, whatever it is that you want to do to enjoy your time. You go do that. Super Break is way too easy. Laps, thank you. You go do a lap in the pool, bro. It is what it is. Let's wrap up this video though, because this went on way longer than I thought it would, but I'm glad I got to explain a lot of this stuff. So yeah, Rappa/Firefly, easiest comp in the game to play. Great damage for the ease of use. Number 3, this teaches you about breaking, and breaking is important. Let me put an asterisk next to it. Why is break important? It's one key reason. The timing on which you break certain enemies, certain new enemies. Let me make that clear. New enemies is key to a successful run, the easy way or the hard way. Example, Hule, Slumber Nana. Do I think break characters will fall off in the next meta? No, I actually think what I think is gonna happen, I think we're gonna get remembrance characters. Each archetype is gonna get something for or from remembrance. And I think we're gonna get more true damage through remembrance path as well. Just from some different harmony units, right? And who knows, maybe other harmony units or other units that aren't a part of remembrance will give us that information. Last but not least, we have Boot Hill. Boot Hill, hardest to play out of the top tiers, but he's the most rewarding. Insanely versatile team comps for his hybrid play style. He's a hybrid Super Break archetype. Boom, done. All right, and then number 3 teaches you how to pilot. Honestly, you learn how to pilot a Boot Hill team, you can pretty much pilot anything in the game. I'm not even gonna hold you. The tech that Boot Hill has for getting up his stacks, especially now with like Fugue, made this significantly easier. Put Fugue on the team and you're done. You're done. Like Boot Hill plus Fugue, you get that boy AV and he don't even need action advance. You just give it to him anyway. You can pilot, if you can pilot a wrench, you can pilot a ball. Facts. Bro, Dodgeball, was that 2002? Am I right on that one? Dodgeball movie. 2002? 2004, I was close. I was close, bro. 2004 is when that came out, man. Damn, good movie. Hilarious movie. Boot Hill's probably the hardest character to play, at least before Fugue. Yes, absolutely. And then now that you mentioned that, I'm going to put especially without Fugue. That's it. We're done. This would probably be what I wrap up as kind of like the ultimate little new player, what you should know. I don't even know how I'm going to title this anymore, right? Like the new player rule set. This is legit just to help people understand way more about the game. And I know this video is gonna be like an hour long, but there's so much information that goes into what I'm talking about for y'all to understand everything in full. All the different archetypes that you have available to you, all the different team options that you could build. And again, this is a part of Star Rail, learning your team options and what you can and can't do in order to successfully pilot your account to fruition without having the issues. If you're able to do what I'm listing out, and you could always recover, right? This is something where you can do this even if you started off the game and like you made some bad choices or bad investments. You can make up for this. This isn't something that like, oh man, I didn't do any of this day one, so I'm cooked. No, you can absolutely do this. You start now instead of, like starting later or whatever, right? But there's a lot you can do. You kind of just have to stop picking and choosing, or stop pulling everything and then pick and choose whatever you want, because that banner, these are all the banners getting ready to come up for 3.0. Herta, Lingsha, Fei Xiao, and Jade in the phase 1 of 3.0. And then phase 2 is going to be Aglaea, Boot Hill, Robin, Silver. And then as of right now, from what we can see in 3.1, Tribby, and then My Day. But you also have these light cones. It's very important to talk about too with the light cones. There's a lot that goes into what you're picking and choosing with these teams, to the point where some sacrifices will have to be made. Getting Herta done. Maybe you could fish for Jade, maybe you let her go. And that's a decision that you have to make, right? Because like, okay, let's say that you go for Herta, which is one of the top tier teams that we talked about, easily free to play accessible, and you do have options, yeah? So I'm going for Herta. I can either pick Little Herta or Serval, which means I can skip out on Jade. Boom. That saves me one of my 6 to 12 pities that I can now use on guaranteed Robin's gonna be here. Boom, I can grab Robin if I want to, or because Lingsha is going at the same time, we did just show this off, right? With Mama Herta, boom, Lingsha was one of the key things that we want right there. So I could sacrifice not getting Jade to go ahead and secure Lingsha. That's stuff that you have to make decisions on. And this is what's going to help you be a smart investor into your account. That's it. I'm going to wrap this up. Thank y'all for watching today's video. I'll have, as I mentioned, I'll put a link to this inside of my Discord. If I'm able to share it without sharing all my normal document information, it'll also be in the description down below. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on today's video. If this helped you in any kind of way, if there were some things that you would like to discuss or argue about. You want to argue, come to the streams. If you want to debate or discuss things live, come to the streams, because it's the easiest way for me to be able to go over everything with you guys and the rest of the community. And then we'll kind of go from there. Oh, the next video that I'm talking about for like the sneak peek, even though I know it's a long video, is pretty much going to give you guys my opinions on the